Welcome to episode 24 of the Real Talk Lineup. We are your go-to podcast for hilarious hot takes on the latest in pop culture. I'm your host, JoJo.
I am Ronnie Cole.
And we have Don Action Jackson.
Big Boss in the house.
I was going to say, a.k.a. Big Boss.
Emphasis on the big.
I think I remember when this came up, it was just Boz.
No, it's big. You're big.
But Big Boz was an outgrowth of that. No pun intended. But yeah, okay, I'll take that.
I love it.
I feel like you gave yourself that name, though.
I don't think the big part, no, I didn't. That came out of something.
He did.
That's what I thought.
Let's go back to the videotape.
Run it back.
On this week's episode, there's no love on the island.
Yeah.
Despite the name of the show.
So contradictory.
Yeah.
Oh, goodness.
The Liver King is a terrorist.
Yeah, I agree.
So disgusting.
You got to be angry if you're made out of liver.
It's so weird.
And Shoelaces can be so distracting.
Oh, okay.
It's all this and more up next on the Real Talk Lineup.
They have to be following him every moment of the day.
J-Lo getting divorced?
He still contributed to society.
I think maybe marijuana.
That is not obvious. How did that happen?
I would be too afraid, but sometimes I'm like, man, I need a little boost. On this week's Celebrity Breakdown, there's no love on the island. Peacock and Love Island USA are pushing back against growing cyberbullying from overly aggressive fans. During the June 24th episode, a mid-show message urged viewers to choose kindness and stop the harassment, saying, "We don't love cyberbullying, harassment, or hate." The backlash stems from fan outrage over recent eliminations, especially the exit of Jeremiah Brown and Hannah Fields, and has escalated into viewers contacting contestants' families and leaving hateful comments online. Peacock releases new episodes 6 days a week, but is now
6 days a week?
Yes, but is now also making a strong plea for fans to cool it and keep it respectful.
That's why people are agitated. They're like,
too much.
6 days of this.
Right.
Well, no, the ones that are obsessed are watching it too much, and it is their life.
So, let me ask you, how far is too far? Because I feel like when you're on reality TV, or really if you put yourself in the public eye, you're open for that kind of thing to happen.
Well, that doxy stuff.
I'm not saying it makes it okay. But
harassing people's families, that's a problem.
Yes.
Doxing, I didn't even know what the hell that was until I got the notes from you, and I looked it up, and it's, releasing, legal documents and personal documents online just out of hate. Doing that. That's wrong. But the nasty comments online, don't look at them.
Yeah.
Don't look at them. That comes with this. If you're going to be on a reality show, there's going to be a lot of hate.
Exactly.
There's a lot of hate. So that's fine. I just love how cutesy they are about this thing, asking people nicely. This is a nice show. This is a great show. How about we will track you down and sue you if you go after our contestants. And how about that?
I think the fact
go Trump on them.
That I didn't think the fact that Peacock did this mid-show message is just going to agitate people and make them want to do it more.
Yeah, absolutely right. Yeah. And they're not handling it right. Again, if they think that they'll come after you, legally. We have people who can track you down if you do this to our contestants, and we will find you. And they can do that. They literally can do that, and they should. Yeah. But no, it's as far as the online comments. Come on.
I guess I don't understand cyberbullying because I don't come from that generation. Because if it was me and people were saying things about me, I guess I just wouldn't read them.
Yeah, you're right. Younger people have to look at this stuff all the time.
Yeah, sometimes you can't avoid it.
Okay.
Because if you're just reading comments under a picture, you're like, oh, this is a really cute picture, or this is a really, whatever cool post.
Yeah.
And you're just trying to see what everybody thinks to see if they agree with you. And there are going to be some mixed in there that are just going to be absolutely awful.
Yeah.
So you just have to be, as a celebrity or as somebody who would look into stuff like that, I think if you know that you have a tendency to be sensitive, you shouldn't read your own stuff. You should have somebody kind of filter it.
Gotcha.
That's why people who go live have proctors and stuff like that for their social medias to weed that mean stuff out. Because I know that Lizzo suffered from a lot of online bullying. Cyberbullying. So it was one point in time where she was not active on her socials. and they were like reposting old stuff because she was just so stressed out because they were so mean.
I love Lizzo.
I know, but not everybody loves Lizzo.
No, I know.
Unfortunately.
But this is where old school comes in handy because back in the day when they were sending letters through the mail, they'd get so much mail, fan mail, that they'd have to have somebody else go through them anyway. And so they didn't see all this stuff. Now it's just flubbing through your phone. And that's not good. I don't think if any celebrity should really be that tuned into the cyber side of it because they know if they know you're watching, then that's where the haters come out.
Yep.
I think though too, like, what do they say? No publicity is bad publicity. I can't say that word.
Publicity. Yeah. No press is bad press.
Yeah.
That's or true to a point. But from the personal, some people just can't. It's too sensitive and they can't handle it. As far as bad press, other people reading it. No, anything is good. But I will say that, Huda should not have gone at Jeremy so hard and whatnot. And so with all that mom and dad stuff. So I get why she was getting all the bad press.
So I've never watched Love Island.
Oh, man, I'm telling you, she was getting
zero interest in it at all.
She was getting all in Orlandria's business about her relationship and everything.
Do you watch Love Island?
No, but I'm just fucking with it.
I'm sitting over here like, if
she's the reason Jeremy got eliminated.
Do you know what? Like my reality show is Love After Lockup.
It's so good. I need to catch up. I haven't watched it in a long
it's so
time,
good.
But it is.
Remember when Derek from Love After Lockup was here?
I've never seen anybody fangirl over anybody so hard in her life. And 6 months earlier, she would have said, "Yes, can I help you?" Now he's like, "Is he still here? Is he still here?
Where is he?"
Well, I was in the copy room and Don comes in and he's like, "Sarah, Derek from Love After Lockup's here." I'm like, "No, he's not."
Someone had to tell me. I didn't see him. I just heard it. Somebody. I think Ricky knew who he was or figured it out and told me. I didn't. I still to this day never saw him. Did you see him?
I got a picture with him.
Oh, I never saw that.
I waited till they were done having their meeting in the office, and then I'm like, "Can I get a picture?"
That is hilarious.
That
is funny. Yeah, I have no desire. Well, why people don't just yell at the TV like I used to? I have to comment and tell them anything. But there are certain fictional characters that just rub me the wrong way, and I get not liking them. But I would never bully.
I would never bully anyone either at all.
And I look at everything on TV as fictional.
Well, I think people they know that no one's going to confront them in their face, so they're going to say what they want on their keyboard. They call them the keyboard bullies.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and that's the reason why when it goes past just the typing on the computer, when it gets to the point where you're putting out legal documents and stuff like that, and people got to change their passwords, they got to change their identity, or they're going after people's families. No, you should threaten to sue.
Yeah,
that way they know that you will. Then all of a sudden, people
business.
They become pussies. Basically, they're not brave at all anymore.
All right. Well, moving on. It is now time for our Diddy update.
Oh, nice.
Prosecutors have given their closing arguments in Diddy's federal criminal trial in New York City. The day before, prosecutors unexpectedly dropped key parts of their case. They are no longer pursuing charges related to attempted kidnapping, attempted arson, and aiding and abetting sex trafficking. Those sex trafficking charges themselves remain. The move appears to stem from weak evidence, especially in claims Diddy kidnapped ex-employee Capricorn Clark, or Cassie, or that he blew up Kid Cudi's car. Prosecutors admitted they failed to directly tie Diddy to some of these acts. However, prosecutors emphasized that prior sexual consent doesn't mean it can't be revoked later, and that compensation doesn't rule out forced labor. They also want jurors to understand that coercion and sex trafficking doesn't require physical restraint or commercial sex acts. In short, the case is narrowing, but Diddy still faces serious trafficking-related allegations.
Well, they didn't have enough evidence because Diddy may be a doofus, but he's smart enough to know that if you're going to blow up somebody's car, have somebody else do it.
I think I really think.
Can't tie it to him.
Yeah.
No face, no case.
Right.
Exactly.
Right.
I think he's going to be found not guilty.
He's going to walk.
Yes.
He's going to, and that's why I told you. Because what happens is you've got to prove that the sex trafficking, actually people were doing this stuff against their will. And they were smart. Diddy's defense did not put on one witness.
Exactly.
They did not. And you know
when
why?
They announced that. I was like, oh.
What's there to defend?
You know, right, exactly. And plus, I figured this out in my head the other day. It's amazing.
Genius.
The jury doesn't like him anyway. Because they've seen him beat his girlfriend in the video.
Yeah.
Those poor people had to watch all that freaky sex.
Yeah.
They're passing out with vertigo. They don't like him in the first place. So if they put on one witness that gives them a door to open to, she looks like she. If they find one witness, if they accidentally put on one wrong witness, done. So they don't need to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the burden lies on the state to prove their case, you know?
Yeah, exactly. And they know that, and he's got good lawyers in that case. And if the lawyer knows how to make a really good closing argument, which doesn't have to be very long, they didn't prove it. Everybody in those scenes, I'm sorry about you, sir, that passed out from vertigo. So the half scene that you watched, all those people are consenting adults, and they're all doing what they want to be, what they want to be there for. And he's abusive, but he's...
Yeah, well, that's not what he's. Yeah, but that's not what he's being charged with.
Exactly.
And I feel like once the prosecution actually verbalized all these things in court, they realized that it really wasn't.
There's nothing. Nothing
he's just a freak.
Exactly.
So,
and at this point, that's not illegal.
No,
at this point.
Not at this point.
No, and honestly, I know, playing mind games with people, it's abuse. But
how do you prove that? At this point, it's like he said, she said.
Yeah,
and
that's impossible to prove.
Yeah, you can't prove mental abuse. Like, I don't think I've ever heard of anyone ever being charged with any kind of criminal act because of verbal or mental abuse.
I guess if it's years on top of years of it, and you can make it psychological, and you have to get experts on the stand to prove it and all of that stuff. Yeah. I just love the fact that he told the judge that he's doing a really nice job. I saw that on the news. He said the judge is doing it because the judge had to ask him if he wanted to testify and if it's his choice not to testify, and he said no. He said he's going to testify. And by the way, you're doing a really nice job. And I think he's quite fond of
so sweet.
I think he's quite fond of the bailiff and the stenographer as well. So.
Oh my God, I would not be fond of that stenographer, or not the stenographer, the court artist, the one that does the.
Who is drawing these pictures? Who is the cartoonist?
It's very nice that they're actually, allowing the School of the Blind to actually do.
Oh my God, there are opportunities.
Sight challenged people actually getting opportunities as well.
The pictures get better and better. I want every single picture that they've drawn. I want every last one.
Oh, I'm sure you can get them.
I'm going to look for them because I want to see them.
You're going to frame them and put them up?
Hilarious. I'm going to make a little book. You know the book they flip through?
Yeah.
It looks like the cartoons.
I like the pictures that TMZ makes. Like the one I sent you. I sent Ronnie Cole this picture. It was like Diddy in court, and then they put all these bottles of baby oil behind them. I'm like, TMZ are such assholes.
Fantastic. It was so funny. That's good stuff.
Yeah, sliding through this case with the greatest of ease.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Funny. I can't. I'm trying to rack my brains. People were comparing him. Jimmy Kimmel especially was comparing him with other celebrities that look nothing like him. Yeah. But I can't remember who he was saying.
Okay. Moving on. Brian Johnson, known as the Liver King, was arrested in Austin, Texas on June 24th and charged with making a terroristic threat a misdemeanor after posting a series of intense and threatening Instagram videos aimed at podcaster Joe Rogan. In the videos, Johnson aggressively challenged Rogan to a fight, stating he was coming for him and vowing to make him pay. Despite acknowledging Rogan's black belt in jiu-jitsu and his own lack of training, Johnson framed the challenge as an honorable man-to-man fight and even said he was willing to die.
Oh my God.
That's good because you probably will be.
Police said they became concerned after Johnson made threats while traveling to Austin, prompting them to consult with Rogan, who confirmed that he had no prior interaction with Johnson but felt threatened. That led detectives to issue a warrant for Johnson's arrest. The feud traces back to Rogan's public takedown of Johnson's false claims about building his body through a raw meat diet. Rogan helped expose Johnson's steroid use, which was later confirmed through leaked emails. The incident highlights their long-running beef escalated by online drama into a real-life criminal case.
Did you just say long-running beef for the Liver King?
I see what you did there.
The meat diet. Did you just really do that?
I did.
Okay.
This man has a serious case of roid rage.
Unhinged.
That's insane. I don't use the word insane a lot because people overuse it. That's like one border. Have you seen how jacked Joe Rogan is?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh my God.
But have you seen the Liver King?
The Liver King. Oh my.
I have not seen this guy. No.
He's built, but he's
scary looking.
He's very scary looking. Very scary looking.
Well, then this is a match made in heaven.
All right, hold
Rogan's
on.
got
like psychotic scary.
Rogan's
his eyes are two different colors.
Yeah.
It's so weird. He's just scary.
I'm going to look him up so you can see what he looks like.
Okay.
Because he's very unattractive. So if you see him, you can obviously tell he uses steroids.
Yes. In addition to the mental health issue that's underlying that he probably should not be treating with steroids. And he needs some carbs. You know that raw meat.
Oh my God, that's so disgusting. He's going to have a heart attack.
Okay, so he's pretty jacked up too, but but he doesn't have the training.
He does not.
If you're a black belt in jiu-jitsu, you're an idiot for challenging anybody to a fight. Certainly. Exactly. And and this guy, this picture looks like he's in. I know he's got a hat on and everything, but it does look like he's in the electric chair.
Maybe he is in the electric chair.
Could be that picture right there.
That is that's like a makeshift chair. That's where he sits and eats the raw meat.
That's so gross.
That's his throne.
I've never heard of this guy before, and I don't like him already. It's.
Let me find out that making a terrorist threat is only a misdemeanor.
It's a misdemeanor. Never knew. I guess it depends
under
on
the Trump administration, apparently.
Oh, okay. It depends on who you are and who you know.
Yeah,
exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
No, that's really weird. I guess just because it's a threat. I don't. It still doesn't make sense to me. It should be something very legally wrong with that. Yeah, I don't know why that's not a felony on some level.
Yeah.
Because they say that because you can get charged just for threatening anybody as violent. That's violence. If
and
you
then
threaten
he
someone.
lives somewhere else. He threatens this person, and as he's traveling to where the person lives that he threatened, he's continuing to threaten them. It's like, I'm on my way to kick your ass.
Yeah.
You're 500 miles away. I'm going to fly, walk, swim, whatever I got to do to get to you, and I'm going to kick your ass when I get there. Like, he's like recording himself the whole way through.
Joe Rogan's probably like, who's coming to get me?
What day?
Yeah.
What time's the flight, Lynn?
Oh my God.
We have to cut the show early that day so that I can be ready for this guy. I mean,
crazy.
That's how stupid he is. He's because
crazy.
Everybody knows that, if you're going to ambush somebody, you don't telegraph it.
You don't tell them you're coming.
Whoa.
You don't tell them you're coming.
Yeah.
I'm on my way. Kick your ass.
Show up. Just show up in the lobby. Make them kick you out.
Oh my God.
Oh my goodness.
Because they would kick him out in a minute, even if they didn't know who the hell he was and why he was there.
As soon as they see him, they're going to be like,
sorry, we have no money for the homeless here. Thank you, sir.
Exactly.
I mean, that's what he looks like. He does look, and there's nothing wrong with being homeless. It's just that they're not going to let him anywhere near Joe Rogan.
Yeah, you can't just walk up in that man's place like.
They're not
happening.
Nope.
Yes.
Okay. Cobra Kai star chumps his co-star. Martin Kove is publicly apologizing after biting his Cobra Kai co-star Alicia Han Kim on the arm during a fan convention.
Apologizes for biting her. That line is that's all you need. Go ahead.
Cove called the act playful, but admitted he went too far and took full responsibility for his behavior. He described Alicia as a kind and wonderful person and said, she
very tasty.
Yeah, she did deserve the incident. She didn't deserve the incident. The actor emphasized his great regret, offered an apology to both Alicia and her husband, and said he's committed to learning from the situation.
Well, committed part should be definitely.
The incident led to Cove being removed from the convention after Alicia told police he bit her hard enough to nearly break the skin.
Well, they do have a no biting policy at the convention.
Well, don't worry, because Cove insists it won't happen again.
Sure.
He is 78 years old. Was he a toddler? That's teething? Why would you bite her?
He is so creepy.
That is such a random act of assault.
It is.
He's confused. And if you're listening, Martin, Cobras bite. Cobra Kai's don't. It's a character, okay? It's a character. I swear to God. And you know why he backed off. The husband was there and got really pissed too.
Yeah. Well, there was a police body cam footage of her cussing his ass out.
Yeah. I have a quote from that. Actually, I read this on the Daily Mail, and she reporting that she said, "You've left a mark on my body, which in your 80-year-old brain you think is play, sir. Were you raised in a ditch? You yelled at me. You had the audacity. How dare you, sir?" I'm like, who is she? Marcy from the Peanuts gang?
Sir,
how dare you, sir?
Oh my God. Sir. I don't know. He's always kind of creeped me out, even from like the original Karate Kid movie.
Yeah.
John Kreese.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, he's not John Kreese in real life. He's not even John Kreese on this. If you've seen him fight lately on Cobra Kai, shades of Steven Seagal in the later years.
Yeah. Have you watched the Cobra Kai series, Ronnie Cole?
Absolutely not. That's
really?
No.
You don't know what you're missing.
No.
Good. Have you ever
watched the Karate King movies?
Yes.
The Karate King. Sorry,
Karate Kid. Yeah, I have.
It's an extension of that.
I don't need anything good to be extended.
Okay. I love those movies when I was younger.
Yes, I don't want them to extend anything.
Okay.
I didn't think the one with the girl made a lot of sense with the karate.
Yeah, it wasn't.
Call me sexist if you want, but it just
wasn't sexist.
Thank you. It's just, I like the girls. I like the females in the Cobra Kai. It makes perfect sense. But to make the Karate Kid, and then they remade it with Will Smith's kid.
Yeah, Jaden.
Which again,
there's
like
another one
that I don't need. That's my your adage. Nothing good like that needs to be remade.
Yeah,
especially, and the problem with movies from the 80s and 90s is that they've never gone away.
Yeah,
so they've always been on cable. Precisely. They've always been around, so they're always going to be compared. And I don't think you really need to remake those. The ones from the 50s and 60s that died a horrible death years ago, and you'd never see them anywhere.
And they need to be revised.
Yeah. But stuff from the 80s and 90s, I guess that's maybe because we're old. Yeah. Because,
I love
Speak
80s.
For yourself.
Because there's no cell phones in there, and kids look at that and go, what?
Yeah.
They're in a phone booth? What? It's weird to them.
For us,
yeah.
Though.
I love 80s and 90s movies.
Those are my favorites.
Yeah.
Those are my favorites, St. Elmo's Fire and stuff like that. I love that stuff.
Yeah. Mine is Back to the Future.
I know, yes.
Back to the Future.
Oh my God, I love that movie.
It is good.
I love it.
Good.
We feel the power of love.
Is that your...
Can you feel it?
Is that your, oh my God, what's the group that sings that
Huey
song?
Lewis?
Is that your Huey Lewis impression?
No, it would be a little raspier.
Okay.
You feel the power of, that kind of thing.
Okay.
I love that song. I love that. And Back to, Back in Time. Back in Time. Those are great songs.
Yeah.
No, that was the nice thing about the movies too. You got a soundtrack too. You got a good soundtrack too.
Yes, you
did. All
those
50 songs and stuff. And when he went back, I love that stuff.
All right. Well, speaking of people with no boundaries, it is now time for Trump Tales.
In Springfield, they're eating the dogs, the people that came in. They're eating the cats. They're eating the pets of the people that live there. And this is what's happening in our country.
She spends all week making these segues.
It's too easy.
She's figuring these out.
They're so good.
I can do it instantly.
Oh, they're good.
Oh, goodness.
It comes so easily.
It's the highlight of my day, I tell you.
That's not in your notes? You made that up just now?
Well, no, it's in my notes, but once I do the story, I'm like, oh, this is what I'm going to say.
Perfect.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Perfection.
She's
a natural.
A natural Trump hater.
That's right.
It's in my
misunderstood.
blood.
I'm sorry.
Yes.
You're instantaneous. You got that quick comic timing.
All right. Well, Israel and Iran aren't the only ones dropping bombs. President Trump struck a triumphant tone Monday night on Truth Social, announcing a ceasefire between Israel and Iran after a 12-day conflict, complete with capitalized declarations. But by Tuesday morning, his mood had dramatically shifted. Speaking on live TV before departing for Europe, Trump blasted both countries for violating the ceasefire, unleashing the now infamous line, "They don't know what the fuck they're doing." The public profanity, rare for a sitting or former president, made headlines and may go down as a historic soundbite, especially given its contrast to his earlier self-congratulatory message.
Well, first of all, he shouted it at a bunch of reporters and pointed his finger when he did it.
Like he's mad at his 18-year-old grandkid or something.
He's mad.
It's weird. He's pissed off.
Or he's mad.
He can't control those people.
Or he's giving like a bad Yelp review to the ceasefire.
Exactly.
No,
annoying.
Like, they don't know what the fuck they're doing.
Yeah, neither do you.
Neither do you.
All right, exactly.
Takes one to know one, stupid.
And I looked it up, and there's really like no other president that they've ever really caught swearing in public. Like there's been like some hot mic situations, but
there's been a lot of them. There's been a lot, but no one has done it except for Trump. He about 10 years ago, I remember he was on the campaign trail, and I went back and looked it up because I saw it. And he said something to the effect, like he was talking about jobs leaving New Hampshire for Mexico. We'll bring them back and tell them to go fuck themselves. So he's done this, and they cover all the press conferences on the news. But technically, he wasn't yelling at a bunch of reporters, knowing that it's going to be on the national news.
Yeah.
But no, most everybody else has been caught on a hot mic. The closest one was Obama when he was talking about Kanye West yanking the award away from Taylor Swift, and somebody asked him about it before they went to go actually live. So it was the cameras were on him. He said, "Oh yeah, he's such a jackass," and that's not really much of a swear.
No, it's not the F word.
It's not the kind of thing presidents say. Yeah.
Well, I have to say, Trump has zero tact or decorum. He is the president of the United States and
the leader of the nation.
The leader of our nation. Like, you should be an example to people.
Oh, no. No.
Well, when you say they don't know what the fuck they're doing, even his own lawyers are off mic going, "Welcome to the club."
Terrible.
And he's not, I don't even think he's pissed over the fact that Iran and Israel dropped the bombs. It's just that the fact that it makes him look bad.
Yeah, exactly. Well, yeah. That's all he cares about.
Because, I mean, that's not considered diplomacy. He's the only person in history that's tried to do diplomacy by swearing at both sides at the same time. But
they don't know what the fuck they're doing.
Yeah.
Neither one of those motherfuckers.
Yeah. And of course, they never watch the news, so they'll never hear that, right? I mean, how stupid is that? And it's the ceasefire. With the ceasefire, my attitude about a ceasefire is you never go public with that shit. You know how when you are going out of town and you don't tell people on Facebook until you come back?
Yeah. I'm going to be away from my house for the next 2 weeks. Absolutely nobody's going to be there. See you.
Yeah.
Wow.
I hope no one finds my spare key under the mat in front of the door.
Yeah.
My God.
Yeah, but that's don't say that there's a ceasefire until there's been a ceasefire for about 3-4 days. Yep. And then people are reporting that there's been no, and you say, well, we brokered a ceasefire, blah, blah, blah. Because if they start dropping bombs on each other, then it makes you look bad. Then you start swearing at reporters.
Yep.
You dropped the bomb on me.
Wow.
Baby.
Should have saw that coming.
I like it.
That one smacked me upside the head. I should have seen that one coming.
Oh, my God.
Should have sang it in harmony with you.
It's outstanding, isn't it? I love the Gap Band. I think I said that before, but
there it is.
Okay.
Yeah, they're outstanding. You did that one last time.
Okay. It is now time for Ronnie Cole's question of the day.
Oh yeah.
Is it? I have a really deep question. It's probably too serious for this show.
I gotta go. Wow.
We can make it unserious.
Oh, of course. You know good well you're gonna make it unserious. Okay. The question of the day. What piece of advice would you give to your 30-year-old self if you could speak to them right now?
Don't be afraid.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. Okay. Because now that I look at life, I used to be afraid to do everything, and I'm like, I'm going to die eventually, so just let me have some fun while I'm here.
You better preach.
Yeah.
You better say
nice.
that.
Yep.
I like that.
Don't be afraid. What would you tell yourself, Ronnie Cole?
Pick the right baby daddy. The right one.
I should have said that to myself too, but okay.
Yeah, because at 30, I was like living my life. I was like, I'm going to do this. I'm going to have a baby, and I'm going to be a single mom. It's going to be great. I chose to be a single mother. I don't know what the hell I was thinking.
I don't know what you were thinking either.
Yeah, that's what I would say.
Okay.
Think about this long and hard before you.
Well, if it's actually turned baby daddy, there's a half of a chance that it's not a good situation. If it's your if it's your boyfriend, if it's your partner, then that's one thing. Baby daddy, half the time, whenever somebody tells me it's their baby daddy, she got issues with him.
It's my baby daddy. Well, no, and that's the thing. It has such a negative connotation, and I hate it because I use it as a term of endearment.
Yeah.
Really?
When I say baby daddy, my baby daddy, because he is literally my best friend in the whole wide world.
Okay.
We've been friends for 25 years now. So, he's like my favorite male other than my son. Like, I adore him as a person, but it's just the way everything's happened. I was just like, maybe I should have, did it a different way. Well, I absolutely would love for my son to still be the person that he is.
Yeah.
So I think I wouldn't change it, but I would just get that situation together before you make that decision.
I got you. No, it's hard to tell somebody who wants to have kids. It's not a good idea.
Yes,
you don't know until it actually happens. Yeah.
But yeah, that's what I'd say.
What about you, Big Boz?
30?
Yeah. Wear a condom.
Yeah. No, I love my daughter, so no, I wouldn't be worried about that. Buy Google online.
For sure.
Buy because you'll find out how old I am now. And at 30, it was 1993. So if I'd bought Google, unfortunately, I wouldn't be on this podcast because I wouldn't know you. I'd be independently wealthy. I'd probably be in the Bahamas somewhere. But the real question, I would probably say to myself, quit being so overly concerned what people think of you. I think I always wanted everyone to be nice. I wanted everybody to like me.
Okay.
And I always wanted people to think I was a nice guy and all of that.
And now you don't give a shit.
And now I'm 61 years old, so I care what people think to a degree.
Okay.
But in other words, I'm going to be a decent human being to everybody. But if somebody doesn't like me, then I'm like, okay, well, they don't like me.
Yeah.
Not
everyone's going to like everybody. That's right. They're lost.
In theory, I was always saying that, but I was always still secretly hurt by this, that, or the other thing. And now I've gotten smarter, and that comes with time and age. And most people, when you meet that 85-year-old woman, don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
It's like I've there's on some level, I've gotten closer to that, and I'm happy about that. I like that in my life now.
Mm-hmm. Well, we like you.
Well, I'd be heartbroken if you two didn't like me. I'm like,
that should be all that matters.
Only Monday through Thursday. Sorry.
I like you on the weekends too.
On the weekend, it's like Don Who.
I've never met Weekend Boz. Is he different? I'm gonna have to see.
He is.
Yeah, Weekend Boz and Weekend Don are never in the room at the same time for a reason.
I would hope not.
Yeah.
Oh my god,
that would be a hot mess.
They can't handle it.
Right, exactly.
Wow.
Especially now that Boz don't care, don't give a fuck.
Yeah, exactly. That's right.
It's amazing. It's getting to be like the paparazzi up in here with this camera. I swear to God,
Oh, you look cute. I look horrible.
First of all,
it's hard to do a 3-camera shoot with one phone.
I'm making it work. You wait, you see. You wait and see.
Okay. She's trying to look cute with the headphones on, which I think she's moving the hair around and everything.
Her
I think she does,
is cute.
She doesn't seem to think though. She keeps messing with it.
I have to prepare myself.
I
never know how many million followers we're gonna have.
That's right.
You look brilliant.
They pay us 10 cents a month, so we gotta be presentable.
No, not 10 cents a month. 10 cents in total
per year.
Per year. So far,
that's all I'm saying.
It's unfortunate for you. They stopped making the penny.
That's another story we need to talk about because I wouldn't know what's going on with that.
Everything's rounded up, I guess.
All right, it is now time to board the crazy train.
Ooh, can I sit in the front car this time?
You can sit in the front car.
Fantastic.
I think the Liver King is in the back.
The caboose.
That's where he just deserves to be.
That's right.
A significant payroll blunder has turned a Wayne County, Michigan employee into an unexpected millionaire.
What?
Thanks to a staggering $1.6 million deposit that occurred at the end of May. The county's safeguards designed to prevent such errors failed to catch this one. The employee, who had dedicated over 20 years to the county, promptly informed her supervisor the following day and began the process of returning the money. The error stemmed from a supervisor mistakenly entering an employee ID number instead of the correct hourly rate while updating payroll information for a colleague who had just received a raise.
Hell yeah. I would act like I didn't know what was going on.
I was going to say, would you inform your supervisor?
Hell no!
Well,
because I think they're going to find out eventually.
Yeah, that's the reason. That's the only reason, by the way.
Whose fault is that?
But that's what I wanted to know. So
the two employees that got fired, it's their fault. The two people got fired over this, over making that mistake.
The $500K that I'm going to hurry up and get out the bank is not firing me. Like, I got some money now. I don't care.
Oh no, they were the people that made the mistake got fired. This person went out of their way. I don't think they would have fired her. They just would have said snatch it all back, which they have to do anyway.
Yeah, I mean, by law that they can recoup that money. Because I'm like, can you keep that money? Because it's their mistake. They gave it to you. It's your money.
It's a better look if you come forward and do that, because it's going to go back to them one way or the other.
Oh, I was like, I wouldn't care what I looked like.
I'm taking it. Period.
Well, no, but it doesn't matter. You're not going to get it.
Yeah, I know.
This way, see, I'm her lawyer. I think she should get half for going and admitting it. I think she should get half. I made the case. It's sitting right here. Psychological pain and suffering.
Okay.
Think about the roller coaster.
Oh, my God.
You look at your bank account. I got $1.6 million. Yeah, like just like her. It's just like
you should see Ronnie Cole's face.
Yeah.
She looks like she's dreaming.
Yeah, she has the money in her account right now.
It's there.
Yeah.
I can smell it. It's
now
there.
I'm snatching it back. Now you don't have it anymore.
Kick your ass.
Oh, see? Emotional distress, right?
Yes.
There. Okay.
Thank you.
So for that, she gets
my representation.
$750,000. She gets for that.
You're hired.
Thank you very much. She deserves that. Reward for integrity. Did she go off to the Bahamas? Did she go buy an expensive car or house? No. Mm-mm. She came to you and told you about it. Mm-hmm. For that, she deserves you to hand over half.
They're not going to do that, though.
I'm going to tell you, this happened. I'm going to say to someone in my family. So
really?
It was tax season, and somebody mistakenly put some extra money on my family member's card.
Like from their tax return?
Like I don't know whose money it was.
Okay.
But they didn't notice it for like 3 or 4 days. So what happened was, you know how you get a deposit, it sends your phone a notification. Yeah. And it sent the notification, and it was like, you have a deposit of, I think it was like $12,000. Okay. Of $12,000, whatever. And so we all were like, huh? What? So call the number, check the app just to make sure that's what we're seeing. Yeah, let's go. Went to Walmart, bought everything.
One of each.
Everything. The very next day, went to the car lot, swiped that card.
Okay.
And left. What ended up happening, once they figured it out, they had to return the car because there was an issue with not the payment.
Okay.
Something with the license, her license, or some verification with the registration or something that slowed it up. Because had everything been good, she would have had a car. So what ended up happening was that once they flagged it, the money was gone. They, hurried up and put it back out. But what was spent was spent. Nobody ever said anything. Nobody reached out. Nobody sent an email or nothing. So I think somebody might have just made a mistake and then didn't want to get in trouble, so they never say anything. But yeah. Because
it got flagged here, these two employees that effed it up got fired.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So people are smart for keeping quiet.
Yeah.
But I think once you get over maybe like $50,000.
Yeah.
Then
somebody else is watching that. Like,
people will notice that's gone.
What's going on?
Yeah.
Exactly. So.
Well, I just find it odd that whatever safeguard they have in place didn't catch $1.6 million.
That's a lot of money.
Well, it was a typo apparently. And so because of that, that's why it happened. And like you said, bureaucratic stuff. And if it's a big company, they're not going to notice that right away.
Yep.
But they do notice eventually. And that's why
it took like 72 hours for them to get it when
And you don't want to be the person that's the lifestyle you become accustomed to. And then they start, whoops, it's got to go. Now you're back to being poor. That's 10 times worse than being poor in the first place.
Oh, that is. You're right, Boz.
I can only imagine.
Because let's say you plan that Bahamas trip for a few months from now and they snatch the money back between now and then.
I would cry.
Right. Exactly. That's why it makes sense. Don't have it long enough to miss it if it's gone.
Gotcha.
I guess.
Okay. Next car on the crazy train. In Germany, police said a guy robbed a bank, then left his duffel bag full of money lying on the sidewalk just outside the bank's doors. Witnesses said the man stopped after the robbery to tie his shoe, then forgetting about his bag, he walked away. He don't deserve that money.
He don't. You're right, JoJo. He does not.
That's right. That's
why?
It falls under the caption, when you have ADD and rob people.
Oh, God.
You know, distracted by his shoelace. Well, he reached down to tie his shoe and he realized his socks were mismatched. That's what really happened. That would throw anybody off.
Throw him off.
Why are you robbing a bank and then stopping for any reason at all?
At all. Why did you not wear your Velcro 3000s? You don't need anything interrupting this run away from the bank.
There's a case for those Skechers slip-ons.
Yes,
we see on TV all the time. You know, if you're gonna be plan ahead. You know, this is the same guy whose mom calls him up in the middle of the robbery, and the cell phone goes on. Not now, Mom. This is the same guy.
Yeah,
robbing a bank.
A spider crawls across his toe. He drops the bag and he runs.
Oh my God.
This is that guy.
Sounds like it.
Mercy.
All right, last car on the crazy train. A university student in Greece jokingly submitted his name for city council as a part of a classroom assignment. Thanks to a ballot misprint and a lack of serious candidates, he won with 62% of the votes and is planning to hold official office hours between his college studies.
Oh, he better get busy. He better get busy.
And I say he can't be worse than anybody out there.
He cannot. He might actually make a difference.
Started adding a few political science courses now to his course load.
I'm thinking like this could be the beginning of something beautiful.
It could.
I'm telling you, it's all the people that voted for him. Half of them are like, what? Because they all decided, hey, a college kid on the ballot.
Right.
We'll vote for it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they probably didn't.
He won?
Yeah.
They probably didn't even know who he was, so that proves that people just really don't pay attention.
Yeah, no.
Yeah. They don't.
No one's watching.
They're not reading up on anything.
No, not at all. They
like,
just read those.
That's a nice name. Let's check that box.
Yeah.
You don't even know what they do.
Listen to those radio commercials and TV commercials. So and so
is
a drug lord. You know how they did with the last election.
Yeah. Oh, Sherrod Brown
and what's his name?
Bernie Moreno.
Yeah, Bernie Moreno. He's Sherrod Brown's drug cartel guy. He's let all those illegal immigrants into the country, and they're bringing drugs in here.
That's how you do it.
One step short of a drug dealer.
Oh my God!
By the way, that's the commercial saying that. I do not approve that message.
Not at all.
Zero affiliation.
Allegedly,
all alleged. You know,
everything on this show is allegedly.
Everything.
Yeah. Have you written the disclaimer yet? We need to run that at the beginning and the end of the show.
I will. I'll start it.
We need one.
Have Diddy's lawyer write it up for you.
Gotcha. Well, that is all we have for you this week. You can check us out at realtalklineup.com or on Facebook or Instagram at Real Talk Lineup. And you can listen to us on your favorite streaming platform.
It's been real.
Thanks for having me again.
You're welcome, Boz. Big Boz.
Big Boz.
That's right. Getting even bigger with every single podcast.
That's right.
Yeah. Almost too big for the studio here.
That's right. That's right.
Almost.
We'll have to move to the bigger studio
You have to do that.
For your ego.
Get a bigger doorway.
And a bigger condom for that big old mic.